Hello,
Hey,
Robert.
Robert. How are you? Let's get you unmuted.
Oh, I'm really glad to be here and surprised. Um, I've been a member of this for years, recently bought the course and having not able at all to deconstruct my sense of self.
Hmm.
Uh, I have a guru online that I meet with once a week. And by coincidence, she has the same traditional approach that you do. So that fits in.
Interesting. That's great.
Yeah. Uh, However, I'm self-diagnosed with childhood PTSD.
Mm.
By that, I mean I could not talk to or play with other children, could not dance, roller skate because my body was so frozen. And I got the nickname in high school of Stoic because I never expressed any emotions.
Hmm.
I married a mirror image, a fellow hermit.
Hmm.
Uh, Fortunately, I had a stroke 5 years ago, which changed my personality. So
Wow.
I have come out. And the trouble is, my brain is too slow to drive or to take care of myself. So I live in a home with 100 other people who are here to die because of our age.
Hmm.
Um,
I, I
but
live. Yeah. Sorry.
none of them are interested
No,
in doing non-dual awakening. So
Yeah,
darn.
I know.
I really liked everything I'm hearing so far. Like Laurie, who talked about yelling out.
Yeah.
Uh, when I came here 5 years ago, immediately, recently, Wedo started looking for a girlfriend. Finally found one, and I invented on my own myself, laying in her lap. Just let myself start to feel safe. That's the
yeah.
only thing I worry about is feeling safe.
Yeah.
And then all these jerks and sounds come out.
Yeah.
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 Our neighbors are all deaf, so it doesn't matter
That's
how
great.
and this can go on until I finally end up just laughing and feeling better.
Yeah. I love
Now,
that.
Beautiful.
I forget to do this every day, and I also do it when I'm falling asleep.
Mm.
I love
Love
that.
that.
I love that. It's such a wonderful healing.
I'm really happy that you found somebody who was willing to participate in that with you too. That's beautiful.
That is weird. What were my questions? Uh,
I
like,
just
go
yeah,
ahead.
Robert. I just want to say that I don't know if you really have thought about it, but we are all just living in a house with people that are dying.
Yeah.
Oh, but we know it because
Yeah,
they,
but we
and
know it too.
Yeah,
no, we don't like I do.
we're
The- I,
we're
No,
aware.
but what I mean is that, I live in a house with somebody that's dying too, and
Yeah.
he lives in a house with somebody who's dying too.
Yeah.
There's nobody who's dying more than anyone else. And just because you're old doesn't mean that you're dying sooner than anybody else.
right.
That is a trick of the mind.
Oh,
Reality is that we don't know,
I
you
could be
know?
minutes from a heart attack and we have no
We have
idea.
no idea.
yeah.
There's nobody who's dying more than other people.
Well, I have the feeling that we are where I live.
Well, that's just well, but
Because, like, when I came here, I was head of a beanbag baseball team, seven on the side. Most of them have died since then, been
Yeah.
replaced.
yeah,
People that I emotionally connected to. So there's a constant grief kind of
Yeah.
thing.
yeah,
And that is what would be wonderful if you could address, because
yeah.
that is not tied into people dying. It's that feeling of loss, that feeling of unsafety. That is what would be wonderful for you to address.
Yeah.
Have you done the second fetter material in the
That was,
awakening?
yeah, you suggested that. I mean, listening to, yeah, start with the second letter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
the thing I like, you said, Laurie, that there are existential release.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah, the exercises are amazing. The
Yeah,
exercises are because they're really allowing the body to experience and express without the conscious mind deciding what it is that is going on, which
yeah,
is really lovely. And particularly if you have CPTSD, you know, where it happened early on, and that has completely shaped your entire life view. Yeah, then your body would really appreciate that. And then I
yeah.
love,
There are no words associated with these experiences.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, stuff that very, you know, my mother wanted to abort me and didn't somehow succeed at it.
Wow.
So it started early.
yeah.
So where am I at? And the next step, that's kind of what we're talking about. Well, I would like to do the exercises and continue to come to some group or so. It's different from having a guru who is ahead of me.
Yeah.
I would like for you, I'm happy that you have a guru, and definitely keep working with the person if you feel comfortable. But I would like for
Yeah.
you to question how anybody can be ahead of you,
Mm.
how anybody can be better than you or know more than you.
Well, she pointed out to me that I spend my time thinking and creating stories.
Yeah,
Mm.
And she said, what do you feel in your belly and your heart, kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
So that was new information. I
yeah,
didn't come up
exactly.
with that on myself.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that. But instead of having an internal feeling that you're looking up to someone, see if you can work with eye contact instead. Because
Uh,
you have, for example, in what you have just shared, you have shared a very important piece of information that if you have a stroke, you can change your personality,
Mm.
which is
boy,
which is the foundation of everything we talk about. Because what we say is that your personality is created by causes and conditions, not by a separate self or not by somebody behind the wheel. By you having a stroke and completely changing your personality is proof of that. That
yeah,
there is not a single Robert that has been the same from lying in the womb and mom wanted to have an abortion until the Robert that is sitting here. It's not a single person that has been through all of that.
Mm.
There is a meat suit that is in constant flux and flow, that is experiencing so many things all the time. And all of those experiences is creating a perception that we believe to be real. But it's not more real than a stroke can completely change that. And suddenly outlook of life is different.
Mm.
Suddenly you're not afraid of sharing your feelings. You're not afraid of trusting in another person where you can just lie in her lap and just allowing the body to experience and express. That is information to somebody that is here that they have never thought of.
well, you're saying that makes me feel like I want to cry. I'm being touched by what you said, being validated. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
I'm happy about that.
And what I mean with that is that right now you are guru for someone else.
Okay.
Because
I'm
you have
coughing here.
given people a lot of new information that they might not have had before. Just like your guru gave you new information that you hadn't had, you give it to somebody else. So we are all coming from this where everybody has had different life experiences, right? So we all have different wisdom that we can share with others, but it doesn't make anybody higher or lower than anybody else. It just means we all have different experiences that we can share. And just having, you know, more insight into the lack of a self doesn't put somebody higher up on a ladder of, importance, moral goodness, or anything else. God knows that's how we have had so many a history of, gurus that take advantage of that concept and do all sorts of terrible things because, we
Yeah.
equate insight with morality and it shouldn't be. So just recognizing that no matter what position we're in, there is always this kind of equal exchange going on. There's always, like Pranilla said, the eye to eye view, so that
You,
you're not
yeah, in every
hitting.
conversation you have with another person, you can be their guru and they can be yours.
Yeah.
In every thought you have in your mind when you're going through your day, you can be your guru. You can at any point ask yourself, what would be my response if I was wise? And then you become your guru because there's
I
nobody.
don't, I don't want to hear that. I do not want to.
Okay.
In fact, I want to complain about my guru. She reminds me that I'm a human being, and for some reason that feels insulted. Bob, you're just an ordinary human being, and that hurts my feelings. And
Mhm.
then you're suggesting me be my own guru. So I don't want that responsibility. I want you.
So, so why is it that that feels so insulting and like such a responsibility to be in that position?
I don't want to give up my victim story waiting for somebody to rescue me.
I understand that. It's a very comfortable position to be in.
Yeah, that's my word. I
Yeah,
want to be here and I want to be totally comfortable all the
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, life
Yeah.
sucks that way.
Yeah, and I can see why being seeing yourself as a human being puts that in jeopardy too, because being a human being is inherently uncomfortable a lot of times. There is a human body here, which, as you've experienced, goes through lots of changes and sicknesses and all sorts of injuries and other issues, and a lot of times it's uncomfortable. And the fact that
No,
it's
it's I'm very judgmental. That's awful that we're born and ate shit and die seems to be all there is to us.
and it's
I
funny
really,
because
I
that's the
totally resent that.
and it's funny because that's the sort of, I don't know if you're familiar with much in the Zen tradition, but
Yeah, that's Zen stuff. Yeah.
exactly, yeah, it is eat shit, sleep, and die. I mean, that's basically the so what is it? And this is something for you that would be really useful to really get into is why do you feel the need to be something more than that? Why is being a biological organism having this amazingly unique
Oh,
life?
okay. I do know.
Yeah.
In order to survive as a child, I decided I had to totally inhibit myself.
Mm.
Mhm.
Sit down and shut up was the only
Yeah.
instruction, or
Yeah.
else you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
Which means that in your body you have an experience of life being in it can life can be in two facets. Either you are quiet and basically invisible and surviving, or you are speaking out and experiencing and then you will be punished. Those are the two things you can choose between. Which means and that is still in your body.
But
That
as a child, I still have. Here's my basic belief: if I don't live, experience life, then this body will live forever. And it worked when I was a child. Yeah, but now I'm very old, and it's starting. That belief is starting to say, well, maybe that's not true. Maybe I will. This body will die.
And so that leads us to the next big issue is the issue
But
of
I just want to
mortality.
say, stop. I want to.
I
You
know.
want to go on? Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
it's something for almost all of us. This
Oh,
fundamental issue of our mortality. And being a human again, it implies impermanence. It implies that the body is going to age and it is going to cease existing at some
if we're
point.
lucky, it's going to
Yeah,
age.
yeah. But it is going
yeah,
to cease functioning at some point, and it is going to
yeah. But
dissolve as
I'm
we know it.
special. Nobody ever came up with. I did by inhibiting myself. I
Yep.
have found physical immortality.
Yep.
Nobody else. I
Yep.
invented that one. I'm special.
But it's like There's an old story, and I don't know if it was ever actually based on anything real or if it was just a helpful allegory. But basically, there was a monastery, and the people were meditating, and there was a cat in the monastery, and it would come in and it would disturb all the monks. So it got to the point where they would tie the cat to the tree before they meditated, and then that was so after a while, it got to where they had a routine and a tradition that you had to tie a cat to a tree before you meditated. And you couldn't meditate without tying a cat to a tree. It had nothing to do. So we've taken an idea that was maybe useful at one point and then extrapolated that out to something that has nothing to do with it. So yeah, maybe it was a useful set of behaviors for you at one point to assume that not living and shutting yourself down equaled safety. And now you're
Mhm.
that is it never had any actual reality to the world. It was an interpretation which functioned for you as a kid. And unfortunately, it also stunted your experiences in a lot of ways. And now you have literally a different brain. You had a stroke. Literally, you are a different person who's now seeing the world through different eyes and recognizing that I've been tying a cat to the tree for absolutely no reason my entire life. That idea, it doesn't hold up. So now what do we have? Now you don't have the ritual anymore that's performing this kind of magical uh, 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 talisman. It's like a magical talisman. If only I don't live, then I will get to live not living forever.
Yeah.
That's a magical belief that used to be there as a child. And does that magical belief still hold up? If
Yes. But it's getting doubted.
good.
That's weird.
Exactly. And it should, because you see the people around you. And even if somebody else had this belief, recognize, well, only if I don't live, I'll live forever. Realistically that that's not going to hold true. The human body has its limitations. It is going to cease functioning at some point, which unfortunately leads you to the position of having to actually deal with what it means to know that you're going to die, just like all of us. You're surrounded by 100 other people who know
No,
that
it
they're
has very powerful implications. For
dying.
example, my girlfriend has congestive heart failure,
Mm,
defib, so all this kind of
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and continues to smoke.
No, yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah. That doesn't
and
help.
drink alcohol
Yeah,
and eat whatever she wants and stay up late all night and stress out.
yeah,
And so I put off saying, caring about her, saying I love you, things like that. It has real implications.
yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
I can keep putting that off later to say I care about you.
No, it needs to be done now.
Yeah.
It's also, we have this idea.
Goodbye. I do
Sorry.
not like that. That is too strong.
Yeah.
That really.
Yeah. No, this is most of our
Are
life.
you really that much in the present?
But
We yeah, I mean, we as much as possible,
yeah,
are we that much in the present?
yeah, there's nowhere else to be.
That's, the
It's the
rest of it is
it's the
just
only
mind
place you
creation.
can be. The rest is mind creation. If you live in your mind, you're not actually living because you're in a fantasy. You could have imagined a world with knights and unicorns and dragons and live your life there. That is not here.
And
You're only really truly living when you're not in your mind, when you are experiencing what is arising here.
I'm really afraid to be honest with her and tell her how I feel on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, I
So I
understand.
just put it off. Next year I will. She
No,
may not
no,
be
yeah,
here.
yeah,
That's it.
exactly.
None of us might be. We don't know. So it's really in the moment, having the fullest experience of this life in the moment when you're actually living it is the most important thing that we can do.
Yeah, right. Yeah, my feeling is I want to leave this broadcast. I don't like what I'm here.
Yeah,
Boy,
I'm sorry.
it's stuff.
I
What
didn't.
yeah, he said the feeling is he wants to leave the broadcast.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
Bye bye.
I know. I know, and it's hard. It's really hard. We're really talking about things that cut to the very root of our humanity, the very root of our the difficulties of living the life that we find ourselves in. And it's not always comfortable, but that's why we're also in a very supportive community, thankfully, and you realize that you're not alone.
That's hearing those other people talk. I said, that's like me, that's like me, that's like me.
And also remember, Robert, that there is a study group every other week that you can join, where you can talk about these things with someone.
Yeah.
We have the amazing community on Discord where you can write these things, and there will be so many people that is going to ping pong with you about this. You're not alone in any of this.
No.
It almost sounds like more than I can handle right now. Starting here was interesting.
Yeah, love that. I'm so happy you came. Thank you for that.
We have jumped into the deep end too.
Yeah.
And so
we
appreciate the fact that you've been willing, first time to talk about all of these things.
Yeah, we could have taken the kiddie pool, and we didn't.
Yeah,
We're sorry about that.
And we
jumped straight into the deep end.
mortality. So
yeah. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I guess I would say I'm getting tired of suffering. I want to try something else.
I get that.
I love
that's what brings most of us to the path.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is possible. It's just
And do the second fetter. You have all the material there to work with it.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Robert. It's been
so good meeting you in person.
Genuine pleasure.
Yeah,
genuine pleasure talking with you.
Yeah.
Hope to see you again.
We have created a course of our first fetter material. This course will walk you step by step through all of the ways in which identification is created and selfing happens. If you've been struggling to see through the self-structure or have that first awakening shift, this course contains hundreds of tools to help you discover the selfing mechanisms when they're happening, and then see through the illusion of identification that are created. Along with over 14 hours of videos, this $49 course contains a full book worth of summaries, extrapolations on the videos, written inquiry suggestions, and other text. So work slowly, leave time for integration. This is powerful material, and it can be life-changing.